Yesterday, every team in the state except for Camden Hills. Sorry to interrupt, but we have some important information. The widespread criminal organization, IFAP, whose individuals are known as imported red fire ants or Solenopsis invicti, are on the verge of furthering their attack of terror on American soil. These terrible criminals can be identified by their reddish-brown shell. A stinger, which inflicts pain and leaves white pustule, can be found on all individuals. The fire ant possesses an uneven thorax without any spine. Workers are normally 3 to 7 millimeters in length and weigh less than a crystal of sugar. The fire ant possesses 2 mandibles with 4 teeth each. Additionally, piles of excavated soil built up as high as 2 feet can be signs of these criminal masterminds. Originally from the jungles of Brazil, fire ants were imported to America on cargo ships and through the food trade. The same process has led to the continued transportation of the ants to America's nautical trade partners. Luckily for Maine, these ants cannot survive cold conditions and remain primarily in the south. Part of the reason fire ants are so invasive is the explosiveness of their population. Our classified species, ants produce many offspring quickly. Furthermore, the ants are very aggressive and have very few natural enemies. Besides climate, there is no natural hindrance in fire ant population growth. These criminals gained notoriety when they began impacting human lifestyles. Possibly because it gives off a similar wave signal as fire ant food sources, technology attracts ants. By cutting circuitry, ants can disrupt traffic signals, cause electrical fires, create power outages, and destroy computers. Many construction workers in the South refuse to build near powerful electricity sources because they attract too many destructive fire ants. Fire ants disrupt other species directly as well. To name a few examples, they inhabit the shells of turtles, attack birds in their nests, and disrupt farm growth by building dirt mounds and damaging farm equipment. The irritation and fear these ants cause humans also has a social impact. Many young children refuse to play outside. Barbecues are interrupted. Golf courses are shut down. Hotels are abandoned. Fire ant stings and bites can be very painful. Their scars can be permanent. Furthermore, there have been multiple reported cases of fire ants attacking nursing home inhabitants. These incidences have resulted in hospitalization and even death. Most invasive insect populations in the South are wiped out by the region's common floods. This is not the case for imported red fire ants. In the case of a flood, worker ants join together and form a makeshift raft to support queen ants and babies. Currents can carry these floats as far as 2 miles until dry land is reached. Since only the queen and a few workers are required to rebuild a colony, many workers will sacrifice themselves for the survival of their queen. Over $600 million are spent each year fixing the damage caused by fire ants and preventing further damage. Ant poison is the most common and accessible solution. This kills individual colonies of ants, but it is not a long-term solution. World superpowers are working together with the Pacific Islands to prevent the continued spread of fire ants. Isolation, monitoring, and transportation security are all being increased for the purpose of keeping this criminal from affecting more regions. Researchers in Texas have experimented with the intentional release of fire ants' largest predators. These flies attack ant colonies and force fertilized eggs into the female ants' abdomens. This kills the attacked ant and frightens other ants into submission. When the eggs hatch, new flies open the process. The strategy has worked in limited doses, but the introduction of another invasive species to the environment could prove disastrous. If, after killing a fire ant population, one pours molten aluminum down the entrance to the ant's habitat, an intricate statue can be dug out of the ground as a sort of trophy for heroic actions. Additionally, taking efforts to destroy fire ants and spreading awareness on the issue will result in the success of farms, ecological equality, confidence of American children in the South, protection of technology, and prolongation of the American dream.